What is going on, YouTube? What is going on? So, I just wanted to hop in here real quick and just have a really quick conversation about the devastation that has been occurring on our college campuses, like within, I don't know, within days of one another. So, we first heard about the report in Idaho where four University of Idaho students were murdered in their home. Either they were living on campus or somewhere near campus, and four students, three females and one male, were stabbed to death in their sleep after they came home from a night out. And nobody knows who did this. Obviously, it's an ongoing investigation. The investigation is still pending, so who knows what information the police have by now. But as far as we know, nobody knows who did this. All four of them were stabbed to death. And it is just a lot of mystery around this case. And I think that's why it's captured everybody's attention, because it's just so extremely mysterious how you can have four adults murdered and nobody knows what happened. So they all lived together. I think three of them lived together in at this residence, and I think the other one, which is the boyfriend of one of the victims, I think he was visiting his girlfriend at this residence. I'm not 100% sure if he was also living there or just visiting there. But there were other people in the home. Now, when I found that there were other people in the home, I was really like confused, because my first question was, if there were others in the home, why were they spared when these other four were murdered? And it was said that the call to 911, which was made by another roommate who was not injured, who was not attacked, the call was made hours after the four were killed. And I'm assuming because they must have been killed possibly overnight or early morning. And so when the other people in the home woke up and discovered what happened, that's when they called 911. But when the 911 call was made, it was the 911 caller said that there was someone in the home that was unconscious and not hurt or killed or anything like that. So that was also kind of mysterious to me, because I would have thought that if the 911 caller had seen at least one of the victims and all of them were stabbed, wouldn't it have been obvious that they were like seriously injured in some way where it caused them to bleed? And wouldn't you have seen the blood? So why was it reported as the victim being unconscious instead of the victim being hurt or stabbed or killed? So we know of at least two other roommates that were living there that were spared. I don't know if there were other roommates there or other people staying there that night. I read an article, I think it was on CNN.com, I think, that had said that this home was considered like a party house and there was constantly people going in and out, which makes it even more mysterious that nobody knew that four of the residences that were living there, or at least three and maybe one visitor, were murdered. And it one of them definitely fought for her life, and so it wasn't like it was all done. It could have been, because the assumption is that they were killed in their sleep, and so they never really had a chance to fight back or to even know what the hell was going on. So maybe the murders could have happened quickly, I don't know. But you would have think that, excuse me, you would have thought that, if you're going to stab four adults, that it would have taken time, because they would have been struggling. It could not have been an easy demise. So that case right there, absolutely mysterious. And I just really hope that law enforcement can quickly apprehend who did this. It makes you even wonder if it could have been more than one perpetrator, because to subdue four adults to the point where you're able to murder all of them through stabbing, it seems sort of impossible for just one person to do, and no one else woke up, no one else heard anything. You would have thought that the perpetrator would have been worried that as he's struggling with one victim, that this could wake up the whole house, and he or she would have been caught. It's just so mysterious how this could have happened. So the campus, I think, had closed earlier. than scheduled because of this. They started their Thanksgiving break a little bit earlier. A lot of students left earlier. It is just really, really sad. I mean, really, really, really sad. And to think about the parents, you raise your child to the point where they're successful enough to go to college, which is like every parent's dream, or almost every parent's dream, to send your children off to college. You send them off to college. They're at the brink of starting their own lives, and then this happens. It's just a huge, huge tragedy. And I really hope that, the resolution is found very, very quickly. The person is apprehended, and, justice is brought to them swiftly, for the sake of the parents and the family. Then I think it was the University of Virginia, I think it was. There was a shooting that occurred in a bus, on a bus. The football team was traveling, and one of the football players just opened fire on his teammates. His name is Christopher Darnell Jones. That's the perpetrator. Luckily, this person has been apprehended, thank God. But for whatever reason, he opened fire upon his teammates and ended up killing 3 of them. Now, Christopher Darnell Jones's father said that he could have been triggered by being bullied, I guess, by his teammates. And all I can say about that is that's a whole bunch of hogwash, because I have a huge, huge problem with adults saying that they are being bullied. Now, you can be harassed, you can be threatened, you can be bothered. That I get that. But to say that you're being bullied as an adult, I kind of have a problem with that, because adults have options that children don't have. Adults can switch their classes, go to another school, walk away, fight back. Children can't do that. Children are kind of forced in that situation where they're being bullied. And if they don't tell an adult, they're kind of like stuck in it. They can't do much for themselves. So with children, I totally understand them being bullied. I'm don't really comprehend how an adult can be bullied. But anyway, so the father of the perpetrator had said that his son had been bullied by his teammates, and maybe that's what caused him to do this. But he opened fire on a bus. Can you imagine how it must have been for everybody on that bus when they saw this person, stand up and start shooting, and you are in an enclosed space where you cannot escape? It just must have been a real life nightmare. And I'm just like, what is going on? Just what is going on? I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. I mean, you can't even say this is about gun violence or gun control, because at the University of Idaho, a knife was used. At least one knife was used. And 4 people lost their lives. 4 people. And then at University of Virginia, 3 of them. I just can't imagine. I just cannot imagine what the family and the parents are going through. You think that, your kids are doing the right thing. They're not running the streets. They're not involved in high-risk behavior. They're not selling drugs or living a high-risk life. They're doing what they are supposed to be doing, what's expected of them, and they still end up losing their lives. Not just losing their lives, but losing their lives in an extremely violent manner, like the way you would die, if you were living a street life. And it's just crazy. It is so bizarre. And you can't even say, well, they were at the wrong place at the wrong time. In Idaho, they were in their own home. In Virginia, they were on a bus. They were either going to or coming from a game or something. They were all where they were supposed to be. And this still happened to them. I'm just speechless. I'm just absolutely speechless. This is nothing new in America. This is what we hear about all the time. These are in news like this, constantly happening. We're not new to this, but every time that it happens, especially when it comes to young people or children, it has like a different effect. Like it really hurts a little bit more, and it affects you a little bit deeper. But anyway, that's all that I wanted to say. Thank you so much for joining me, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.